Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining another episode of The Other Side of the Story. Our mission is to bring people's success stories, where they are in life, and to learn from them. You know, everybody's got a story. You have a story. I have a story. And so you're going to be encouraged today. You're going to be challenged. You're going to be inspired. That's our whole goal, is to bring those type caliber of people to you. And today we have that type of person, my man, Rishunn McCaleb. And one thing I'll say about Rishunn is I know him personally. I met Rishunn in Dallas through my daughter and son-in-law, and have experienced what he does. And he is a tremendous fitness coach, trainer. But what got him there is what we want to talk about in a minute. But just kind of give him a proper introduction. Rishunn is a NASM certified personal coach, trainer. He's a graduate of Mississippi State, played college football there, and I always pick at him about this, with the great Dak Prescott.
Yes,
He was on that same team. But also he has a bachelor's degree in kinesiology. Hope I said that right. But it's really a study of movement of the body. His passion for fitness was really birthed out of his love for sports. And I love that about that, because his passion, like you have a passion, I have a passion, will birth things out of your life. His willingness to help people is another reason why he started what he's doing. He's specialized in sports performance training, weight loss, functional and strength training. Motivator. The man is a motivator. I love training with him, of his clients. He's a father. He loves yoga. He shares his faith. And I like this about Rishunn, man. He doesn't just limit himself. He's touching the outskirts of modeling. I think that's going to blow up for him. I think Nike's going to hire him. So all these things are happening in his life. And Rishunn, we're so excited to have you today on our podcast.
thank you, Bishop. I was so excited when you shot me the message and told me that you wanted me to do it. So I'm definitely excited and blessed to be here for this opportunity to share my story. Definitely always glad to share my story.
Well, that's so good, man. I'm so excited to have you also, bro. And I always talk to people, like I'm talking to you about, you had to learn some things on your journey. You had to learn some things in your life to really get you to where you are. And we'll get into some of that later. But really, what started it for you? Because I think you grew up in Mississippi. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Born and raised Mississippi, Indianola, Mississippi.
Okay. So as you were growing up, there's some things we all can take away from things, how our childhood was or whatever. What were some things that you kind of feel like is helping you today that you learned growing up in Mississippi?
I think for me to start off, so growing up in Mississippi, the part I grew up in, for the most part, is very slow. And I say slow because we got to everything last. I don't live in the city part. I'm kind of in the country. It's Indianola, Mississippi, home of BB King. So we got to everything last. Then I grew up with mom and dad there. Both had both parents there. Grandparents stayed exactly right beside me. So one thing I did kind of grow up on that was huge for me was family. The importance of family. That was one thing that my mom and dad kind of drilled in me a lot. Not only because I was growing up being raised right beside my grandparents, my mother's parents, but just my immediate family, like mom, dad, sister. Like we made sure we had that family time. So that's one thing that I can appreciate now. With on top of me being a father, what I'm saying, I get my great fatherhood experiences from my dad.
That's good. So basically, man, some of the things you were developing as a child is the importance of connection, importance of the right people around you, the love and support. It's so
just
powerful.
that family love. Absolutely, Bishop. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. So in Mississippi, like you in the place you were at, the opportunities were probably not a lot. Is that correct?
Yeah, very, very. I mean, you got opportunity for other things, but that's of course that's the the negative and all the bad things that's out there in the world. But sports was the only thing that kind of took it out for me. My parents introduced me to it at an early age, about 4 or 5 years old. But I, on the flip side, as I did get in my latter years, kind of in middle school, high school, I was able to see, my uncles, how they were, just on the street corners, working at just all the little plants like the catfish plant, and those are things that I, said I didn't want it to do. So I kind of leaned to those sports, whatever sport my dad had me in. I was gleaning to those sports more than anything because I didn't want to be in the streets. I didn't want to work at Walmart or McDonald's or and I wasn't too fun with school. I wasn't too fun with school. So once I found out that you had to like be like you had to go to school and get your books, to play sports, that's when school kind of hit for me. But for the most part, I think the opportunities for me was I was always inside with my family and in sports. This was it.
No, I think that's a great lesson you're teaching us right there about the vision you saw as a young child to go, you know what? I know there's better in the
Yeah,
sense of what you could do with your
yeah,
life. And honestly, there's
yeah,
nothing wrong with what you said, but definitely seeing that you had an opportunity to branch
yeah,
out and expand your talents. Because there's a lot of people, right, Rishunn? There's a lot of people that has the potential,
yeah.
but you never do anything with the potential. And you did
Absolutely.
with the potential in sports, no doubt. You begin to develop and went to Mississippi State. Did you get on a scholarship there at the college for the football?
Yeah, it was my last year when they did give me the scholarship. So that's kind of what made my whole college experience as special as it was because I walked on to Mississippi State. I didn't receive a full scholarship there until my last season being on that team. But I think if you looking on the back end now, Bishop, I
Yeah.
don't think I would want a scholarship going in, because that taught
Mhm.
me that really taught me that hard work, that perseverance, that tenacious, that grit, that relentless effort. All that taught me like that. So once they gave me the scholarship, it was like, okay, yeah, I have worked my butt off for it now. So yeah.
No, that's good. You were learning. You were learning that really, man. Is going
Yeah,
into that
and
setting.
and I didn't see it. Of course, I didn't see it like that. But on the back end, of course, it makes sense now. But man, I can tell you, Bishop, my first year at Mississippi State, it wasn't the best. I remember calling my dad, telling him, "Yo, I just want to be a regular student. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it anymore." Because at that level, you're next door to the NFL, so football it still was fun, but it wasn't too much, it was a business too.
Hmm. Well, talk about that for a minute, man. About how you went into it like that, and then you saw it as that whole nother level mentally, and no
Mm-hmm.
doubt physically, because a lot of people watching right now on Zoom or listening to it on our audio, uh, maybe don't understand the I guess the effort it takes, and then just the dedication it takes to be a college athlete. So, how did that affect your mentality and your willingness to stick with something that you were ready to give up?
Mm. I think it was most definitely the love and the passion I had for that sport that kept me kept me coming to be just to talk about it like that. It
Yeah.
was the passion and the what football did for me, what I seen when I seen it done for me before I had finished my collegiate career. Um, so I bought into the program, even though I wasn't like a starter or one of the main players. I just bought into the program because I knew on the back end that it will create, it'll get me prepared for the real world in a sense. The workouts, the mindset, the meetings, um, the team, just being on the team, being in that environment, like everything from the top to the bottom prepared me for what I am in now. Like even I think like waking up at 5 a.m., I still do that to this day because like I'm just wired like that. And I'll feel weird if I don't get up at 5. It's crazy. But just like I said, going back to the workouts, being physically fit, mentally fit, it prepared me for so much adversity,
Yeah.
life adversity. I kind of compare it to life because, I wanted my career to go like this and it didn't. So I still had to transition and still buy into that program and still show up on top of, hey, this my career isn't going the way that I want to go. So how do I produce now? How do I become productive to this team now?
That's good, man. I can so relate to that, and people watching this, no matter what they're doing, I know can relate to some of the principles you're teaching, man, because you developed good habits. You
Mm-hmm.
develop, and what sports does, right? Helps you learn how to be in a team setting where
Right,
it's
right,
not
right.
just about you, it's about the whole concept, the vision of a team. And then what you're talking about is really what it takes when you have disappointments, and you gotta kind of pivot and transition in the middle of something that it changed routes. So that's great what you're saying, how you learned that in college, especially with sports and what it took to do it.
I
Tell
think
us, go ahead.
like the moment I stepped on that campus, it was just transition, transition, transition. Because when I
Yeah.
got there, I only played my first year. I only played 1 year of offense, receiver. I played receiver my first year there. Soon as that season ended, I was in a transition. They changed my whole position to cornerback, which was very, very tough, very, very hard and challenging. But I
Mhm.
overcame that. Another challenge was I became a father that same season. That same off season, I became a father, which was the biggest transition of them all.
Yeah.
Kind of being a father and still wanting to, first get my degree and still play football. So trying to juggle all that, it was a very challenge. It was very challenging, but on the sense of things, I still showed up. I think once December came and my daughter was born, that me stepping into that fatherhood role really, really turned up the work ethic with football.
Yeah.
It was like a switch just flipped. I started going harder than I ever did. My grades started improving. I became a better teammate. And my coach, we used to get like quarterly meetings, and my coach was, he was my position coach at the time. He was really like impressed with how I was handling everything, all the adversity. Life wasn't stopping happening. So once
Good.
all that stuff was coming in, and it kind of paid off once they gave me the scholarship. I was like, oh, all this hard work, it paid off once I got that. Once they gave me that scholarship.
Man, I love that, Rishunn, because again, uh, we can't predict life, right? I mean, things happen in life,
Absolutely.
challenges happen in life. What tell us how you at some point in this process of college, becoming a father, were there times that you felt like just walking away from it all, man, quitting? And if you did have those times, what made you stay with it?
Um, Again, I think that's a great question, and I can answer it from both sides. I
Okay.
was I was just so I had this mindset of not going back home. Like I couldn't go back home to my hometown. Like I just couldn't, because I knew what was there. Like I said, like I stated earlier, I knew, just drugs and alcohol and working at Walmart and McDonald's.
Hmm.
I knew that wasn't for me. So it's crazy. Very ironic to say, but I sought in that adversity. I sought in that process for the longest because I knew it would make me a better man versus me quitting, going back to my parents, working at
Oh,
Sonic or Burger King, something like that. So that was one of the reasons. Again, my daughter, once she came, my whole demeanor, my why, she became my why for everything. And when it did get hard, all I thought about was her. All I thought about was, you know, becoming a better father for her, kind of setting her up right now. Like I
mhm.
use what I was in, on the pedestal that God gave me right then. Hey, I'm in college. I got an opportunity to get my degree. First off, I got,
Mhm.
if football works out for me, I got an opportunity, to change that for my family and everybody and my daughter. But I think just having that mindset of not wanting to go back kind
I
of
love
pushed
that.
me forward more than anything.
I love that, man. That is speaking to me right now because
Yeah.
that the word came to me before you even said it was the why. Isn't that true? Like it seems like we live in a culture, our society where people don't like getting uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they don't like getting uncomfortable, man. It causes people to give up, quit, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that is so good. I think somebody either watching or listening to this right now might be at that same place, but your why's got to be bigger than your
Mm-hmm.
adversity.
It was very challenging for me. And even like I know we still on my collegiate process or whatever, but like the move to Dallas, like graduating, all that, like it's a lot more. Like we're talking about the story. I don't want to get ahead, but yeah,
No, man, it's so
I
good.
think like right there, it was the why of me not wanting to go back. And then okay, I want better for my daughter. I want so much more for her than I ever seen. So it was those two things itself that I just couldn't quit on it because of
That's
those.
good. That's good, man. I love that. So when you get to this place of graduating college, did you know what you wanted to do at that point? Did you know then I'm gonna
Absolutely
be a
not.
trainer or what?
Absolutely not, Bishop. And I think just because I didn't have it all figured out, I stayed in college another year. I stayed
Mhm.
another 2 semesters, and they were the worst semesters of my life, my college time for sure. I was taking like easy classes, like walking and jogging, like literally walking and jogging classes, like, and
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to those. I would just I wasn't in purpose anymore. My purpose,
Mhm.
I just wasn't on purpose. I was going there just, messing with the women and just kind of just getting the um attention or whatever that may look like. Join the fraternity. Once I was done with football, I still wanted that feeling to be a part of something. So I joined the fraternity. Again, just started doing things that I knew I had no business doing. Drinking
Mhm.
and smoking and just hanging out, moving very fast. And then it came time for me to graduate, and I couldn't go another semester because I think if I could, I would have went another semester.
Yeah.
Um, but I didn't have it figured out. I thought football was the route for me. But once that ended and I got my degree, um, I think that's when the adversity started the most. I thought it was adversity going through with football, but it was a process. But once I graduated and walked across that stage, I think the next month I found myself behind bars, Bishop. I found myself being locked up,
Mhm.
put into a police car behind bars.
Yeah. How'd
Um,
that make you feel? What were you feeling that time, man?
Embarrassed. Like if there's
Right.
one word that say it is embarrassed. Like disappointed. Like not only for
Mhm.
myself, but my daughter, my mom, my family, my teammates, my coaches, like everybody. Because yeah, I'm a little popular guy, a popular guy at the time, but once I got in that trouble, it seemed like everybody knew.
Yeah.
My mugshot got released to the papers, and it was just like to the newspaper, and then it was just like, okay, you got to walk around with this embarrassment on your face, like you gotta hold it. And um and again, it was a mistake. I got a job working at this mall, and I just started to just do unlawfully free bag clothes and trying to get money under the table, to
Mhm.
provide for my daughter, to get Pampers and to get some food for her. And I was just going about it the wrong way, doing it on my own time. And again, I can't even say this ironic to say this, Bishop, but I was
Yeah.
so blessed that happened to me. Like once
Mhm.
once I got arrested, it was the best thing that happened to me.
Isn't that
Uh,
isn't that amazing how because I think we all get to some place regardless of what level, it's a
mhm.
turning point, right? It's a turning point in your life. And you said now you can look and go, really the best thing that ever happened to you. So what happened that turned your life to go, I'm going to Dallas?
Okay, so once I got in that trouble, I started to kind of, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? I kind of started to, reach out to God more than anything. I was just that he was the only at the time, he was the only thing I wanted.
Yeah.
And he was the only thing I wanted. You know, the good book says, he's a present help, in the time of need, So that was the only thing I was wanting after. So he started to align me in that process. And I was praying that I wasn't praying for a specific job because again, I didn't know what I wanted to do, didn't know what, I kind of had an idea, but it was still football. I wanted to play football. I
Yeah.
started to, get my prayer life, in order, and God really started to order my steps. I landed a job working at a chiropractic, chiro assistant, using my degree.
Hmm.
Didn't know, to be honest, didn't know anything about chiropractic. I just knew I got my degree, so I could use it in that field. I was working as a rehab a rehab therapist. Kind of,
Okay.
same thing I'm doing now. It's crazy, Bishop, that we're talking
Yeah.
about. This is a rehab assistant. I'm working in the rehab department, just kind of showing stretches, taking people through little workouts, just doing whatever on their on their sheet for them to do. One day I woke up and I was just like, man, I think I want to be a chiropractor. I think I can do this. I was talking to the lady that worked there at the time, and she was like, we get paid this much. And I'm like, y'all get paid this much to crack bones? I could definitely do this. I could do this. Again, okay, fast forward. I went through the court system. They put me on like 2 years of house arrest. 2 years
Wow.
of house arrest. So
Yeah.
now I'm trying to get accepted into this school, which is in Dallas. This is a professional school for my to become a doctor of chiropractic. And I got accepted. Again, at this time, Bishop, I started to build my faith harder than ever before. Like he started to show me stuff that I'm counting myself out like, man, you ain't gonna get accepted in no school. Boom, got accepted into the school. They ain't gonna let you off house arrest early. Boom, they let me off house arrest early. And there was the move to Dallas. There was the
That's
move to
good.
Dallas. I got here, and again, another transition, another piece of adversity. I'm talking about on a whole different scheme because I didn't know anybody when I moved out here. And school was even more challenging, than my undergraduate program was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was challenging. I ended up, flunking out. My first year, failed completely out. I started, and that's when I started to just work out, in the meantime, because they told me to come back the next semester. So in the time between me getting dismissed from that first semester and then coming back that next semester, I started to just work out. Every day I would just go to the school to go to the gym. And I started like training some of my classmates. That's
Yeah.
how it all started. I go back for the next semester, same thing. I came up one class short of moving on. Biochemistry took me out. So again, I got dismissed from the school, academically dismissed from the school. At this time, once you get dismissed twice, you can't come back. Now I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. Like really at a standstill, really at a halt, you know what I'm saying? In my life, like don't know where to go. Of course I'm reaching out, I'm praying, reaching out to so many people in my circle. I thought it was time to move back home, you know what I'm saying, and give it up. I thought it was time to just say, okay, Dallas, I've been here 2.5 years. I don't think this is it. I'm gonna go back home. Again, something that go back home, Bishop did it for me. I couldn't go. I remember me and my mom, my sister at the time, she had graduated from her professional school, so I went down for her graduation, which was in Chicago. My
Yeah.
mom had found out that I had got dismissed from school. She was like, you need to move back home. That was it. Mom and dad both said, you need to move back home. At this time, I had already agreed to myself, I'm not moving back home. I'm going to do what I got to do. And I want to become a personal trainer out here. I think that's something that I could do. So I started to do it, Bishop. I started to build it up. I started to, I had met this videographer guy and we just started to go, man. At the time, like I said, I wasn't in no school. So I would literally wake up, go record videos at the gym. I'd be at the gym all day with my videographer. We probably would leave, get there about 8, 9, 10, record a few videos, probably go get lunch and go right back to it, record videos, whether it was outside, at a park, at a football field, at a bridge or whatever, at a
Yeah.
restaurant. I was just putting it out there. I was putting it out there at a high risk because I wanted my engagements back in to be high. Got kind of in a real heated argument with my mom because she wanted me to move back. Like I said, she wanted me to move back and kind of be in back at home with my parents. But again, it's something I didn't want. I started to build my clientele up at the time. At that time, I started to build my clientele up with my couple of my classmates still was training with me. I got another job at this gym, Fitness Connection, started to meet people in there, train them. So the money that they would give me for training probably wouldn't 30, $20 at the time, 15,
Right, right.
$20. I would use whatever that was to get me like a little 1-2 night hotel room at the Sheraton
Mm-hmm.
Hotel. Never forget it. I didn't have a place. I didn't have a place. All my stuff was at one of my classmates' house. All my clothes and stuff. But I wanted, to sleep to myself. So I would stay at the Sheraton maybe 2-3 nights out of the week, and then I'll come back out, on the weekend. I know Mondays and Wednesdays I stayed there, and on the weekends I was there. Um, so yeah, I did that for a minute. I did that for some time. Or some time actually.
Yeah.
And it was very tough. It was very tough. A lot of lonely nights, a lot of lonely nights, a lot of nights. A lot of nights I would go to the hotel, but I didn't have enough money to get a room, so I would just sleep in my car. Like I let my seat all the way back, literally sleep in my car. A few nights did that. But I did know too this. I just remember how far God had brought me that
Yeah.
gave me the confidence to just keep going. Cause I knew one day, Bishop, no matter how ugly it was right then in that moment, like it was so ugly, sleeping in my car, like cold, like I never forget it, but I knew even then I'm gonna come out of this one day. I'm gonna come out of this one day.
I just want to stop you right there. What you've said so far is just powerful. It really is, because, think about what you're saying, and several things stand out to me. I don't want to just rush by it. I want to bring it back to you. Is that like life, when things go wrong, then again, your mom meant well, but she was trying to pull you back to what was going to be comfortable. But yet
As
you had
moms would
something
do.
greater in you, a greater dream that you said no matter what. And no doubt what at that point in your life, you learned all this growing up, what you just said, going through what you went through, Mississippi, the college, what you went through there, all the things you had to experience and face. It just kept, building in you a greater determination and resilience to not quit, not give up. And the scripture came to my mind, man, when you said that about, Paul and the Philippians said, sometimes you got to forget the things that are behind you and reach to the things that are ahead of you. That's what we want to share with somebody through your story right now. You are reaching ahead, because it would have been easy. No doubt, again, people watching and listening, been easy to go, man, I can't understand why he just didn't quit. Why didn't he give up, go
Right,
back
right,
home?
right.
It would have been comfortable, man. You'd had more security there. But hey, you had something in you, a dream, a
Mm-hmm.
vision. You're starting to be a trainer. When did things start turning for you at that point, in the sense of becoming more stability for you, a house, a home, whatever, man, clients growing?
Um, it was so like a roller coaster with it. It was very up and down, and I think only because, I think God was showing me in that state right there that hey,
Yeah.
I'm the source. I'm the main source. I'm the main source here. And all things flowing through him. So I was, as hard as I was trying to get clients and to do this and to do that, I was missing it at the same time. So once I got locked in, I probably would say right before COVID hit. That's when I thought, at least I thought I was making some little money, with
Yeah.
COVID. And right before COVID hit, that's when I was like, okay, yeah, we're doing something here. I had clients. I had clients on the hour at every hour except for my break time, but I was training, morning time, noon time, evening time, I was training. I was doing what I wanted to do. I had built my brand, had built the clientele up
Yeah.
to to where I wanted it. I
And that,
never was trying to train everybody in Dallas. I just wanted quality people. So I
sure, man.
started to jump into I started to train, got connected with a few Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, um, a few people from the Potter's house, the mayor of DeSoto, a few other like people from there. I was training in my church, and then I just had the unique opportunity, man, to get with Chandler and Hannah, your daughter, and
Yeah.
even then, I think that opportunity rolled right before the COVID happened. Um,
Mhm.
and that's when I was like, okay, like we're really doing something. And then boom, another transition, COVID happened.
Man, To that point, how many years are you in up to that point as far as trying to get your training business off the ground? How many years did it take to the COVID point? 4 or 5 years? What was that?
What, before COVID or?
Yeah, that the time process. How long did it
Oh, I
take you
had
to
probably
get to
been
that?
on for about 3 years, 3.5 years
Okay.
at that time. Yes,
All
sir.
right, 3 years.
Yep.
Yeah, the tenacity and your determination. Then, you're in a health and fitness industry
Mm-hmm.
that I looked this up, Rishunn, because this just blew my mind. This is worldwide, but this is the business you stepped into, and no doubt the risk of failure, the fear, no doubt all these things you're going through. But 200,000, 200,000, man, 200,000 clubs globally. Think about that. And 184 million members globally are in some type of health, fitness, gym, club, personal training. 184 million, bro. And
Wow.
you step in, you're in it. So what makes you different, or what do you bring to the table, man? Because I've had a lot of trainers, off and on. I've trained with you. I can say some things, but I'm gonna let you answer this first. What makes you different, you think?
First and foremost, I have to say, if to give it to you, I think, and everybody may say this answer too, but I think for me, first and foremost, is purpose. Like it's most definitely a purpose for me. And and to go deeper with that, just like you kind of said in my bio, is me helping people. I think God gave me a talent, with this, just with the strength I have, the type of strength I have.
Yeah.
Um, I don't look at it as it's all me. It's a screen. Yeah, you strong. I look at it as a gift given from God. So I try to give that back, and use it in a way to help people. You know what I'm saying? God gave me a lot of gifts that kind of tie into it. The charisma I bring with it. A lot of things that comes with it. My energy. That's another
Yeah.
thing that sets me over the top from my colleagues is my energy. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna show up and be Rishunn every day, no matter if it's a bad day, rainy day, a leg day, upper body day. It don't matter. I'm gonna give that because I know how hard it is for a person to come to the gym.
Yeah.
To want to work out. I know how hard that is itself. And I just think, as me being a trainer, I think it's my duty. I'm almost obligated to make it fun. It's not,
Yeah.
because it's not fun. Just to be honest, it's not. It's not fun for an average person. For people like us, we need that type of grit. But for an average person that don't work out or whatever, don't got no type of physical fitness and they ever, I think I have to make it fun for them to not only want to come back, but to see the growth and how beneficial it is on the back end for sure.
Right.
So I think that those two, I think it's purpose for me and my energy. I think my energy gonna set me apart for sure.
No, I totally agree with you because having trained with you many times when I've gone to Dallas, you bring in that element. I feel like, again,
Mm-hmm.
that passion, the energy, creativity, keep it interesting, keep it fun. And people need that because let me ask you a couple more questions. How does it make you feel seeing someone who's maybe never worked out, maybe trying to lose weight, their health maybe is not good? Because isn't it true that, how we feel physically affects everything else, right? Mentally, spiritually, all that. So how does that make you
Hey,
feel to
yes, sir.
see
Yes, sir. Yes,
somebody
sir.
to come in and you're able to use what's in you to really help a person? How does that make you feel?
It's kind of like it kind of just give me enough confidence to say, okay, man, you are doing the right thing. You are changing lives. It makes me so much. On the impact end, and it makes it better for me. It makes me want to keep going. It makes it more exciting for me when I
Mhm.
see somebody who gain that confidence or who get whatever goal that is, physically. It just makes it better that okay, yeah, you are doing the right thing. You are changing lives with it because that's the main thing it is for me. I want to impact. I'm not trying to impress. I'm not trying to impress anybody when it comes to this. I really just want to impact people to say, okay, he's doing it different, or he's doing it like this, or it's so many ways, as you just stated with all the numbers, so many trainers, so many gyms. But I
Mm-hmm.
want people to look at me and be like, oh, like, man, he did it this way, you know what I mean? He did it that way, or I like how he do it. I like how it is on Faith Street over there. I like how the grind is over there. It's a grind, but he makes it fun. So I think that's what it is for me.
Good, man, because I think I say this all the time, Rishunn, we're all here on this earth to make an impact, influence. If it's just one person, it's powerful. And you've done more than that. So thank you for what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And so real quick, give
Yep.
us
Yep.
the meaning or how you started or why you named it Faith Street Fitness. I love that name.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Faith Street came again back at the time when I had no clients. I was my client.
Mm-hmm.
I was my client at the time. With the house arrest block on my ankle is when I came up with all of this.
Okay.
I would wake up and my times, I was on this strict time. I could only leave the house at 5 a.m. and I had to be back at 8:30 p.m. So I would wake up about 4 o'clock, roughly 4:30 sometimes. I would wake up
Mm-hmm.
and I literally waiting by the door so that 5 o'clock would hit so I could leave and go to the gym. Leave and go to the gym. So once I moved to Dallas, once I got released and moved to Dallas,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, me with my videographer, I would just go work out like everywhere. In the street, middle of the street, like parking lot, park, sideways. I mean, man, I just was working out. And we
Yeah.
were doing that, Bishop. Literally, we were doing that like every day, going everywhere, everywhere. So with me, I tried to embody that word faith.
Yeah.
I was reading this daily devotional, and I started to post that daily devotional every day. And people, people would reach out and be like, "Man, thank you for posting that. Thank you for posting that." I would post it right before the videos,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like a direct correlation between both of them. So, I remember it's this verse I'll never forget. I think it's First Peter 5:10. We talked about, I personally restore you, after you suffered a while.
Yeah.
I kept that. I still have it to this day. I still have it to this day. And that right there kind of birthed the Faith Street, because I knew um, that one day I'll be restored. I'll get back everything I lost, and this struggle won't be the same struggle always. So and it takes faith to believe that. It takes faith to believe something like that.
Well,
And
that's
if you
good.
if you look at it, what is faith? Faith is the substance of things not seen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I didn't see. I legally I couldn't see myself getting out of there, but mentally I believed that I would get out of there. So with me
Good.
showing up every day, I had to keep that faith. I had to keep that faith, and day in and day out to believe that, and then just showing, like I said, I named it Faith Street because, like, literally we would be like, I had the faith and I was just out everywhere. So I'm like,
Yeah.
man, we showing up on Faith Street. What we at today, man? We on Faith Street. What we at today? And my guy his name's Eric, man. He was to record. He was like, man, what we at today? I would start to say it, yo. We on Faith Street today. We on
Yeah.
Faith Street today. That's what we at. Either when we was in the gym or outside of the park, we still was on Faith Street. We still was on Faith Street.
Good, man. Now, I love your story. It is so powerful, teaching us. I know people that's watching this or hearing this, Rishunn's being inspired, no doubt, but being really challenged and say, man, if you can do something like that and you stuck with it, you're still with it, got greater things ahead of your life, man, it's just an inspiring story. And looking at your life, people would not have known that, the things
Nah.
you've gone through. But thank you for sharing that, because it has really, really inspired me today. Thank you so much. Let me ask you a closing question. Think about this for a second. So you've overcome all these adversities, challenges, difficulties, transitions, man. So many things you said about transition, but how can you, or what could you say to somebody watching or listening right now that maybe don't know how to start their fitness journey, don't know how to stay with it? A lot of people start and quit. So give us a couple of things you can share, how you can encourage somebody to get started and then to stay with it, regardless of what it is in life.
Ah, that's a great question, sir. I would first off saying by trust the process. That's something I believe in wholeheartedly. I would say trust the process, believe in it. Like believe in the process, because if you don't believe it, you can't you'll never continue to go, because the hardships are gonna come. So you have to really trust and believe in the process. Um the process is where it's at, man. The process is where it's at. Um Yeah, so I would definitely tell them, to get started, whatever that may be. You'd be playing marbles, whatever it is. Believe
Yeah.
in it. Believe in it before um before it explodes, before it gets big, before all the big stuff happens on the back end. You get the goals or whatever that may be. Since we're talking about fitness, you got to
Yeah.
believe in it, because if you don't, you won't show up. Like, you won't show up. You won't give your best effort if you don't believe in it. Because something in life it's gonna try you. Something in life that's gonna hit that's a lot bigger than you. And if you allow that to detour you from the mission, like, you already in trouble from there. So I'll just say, just trust that process, believe in that process, embrace that process, embrace it, and know, that the back end is going to be way greater than where you started. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be, and it don't matter what it is. Like you said, it's going to be, I seen a post the other day, and I think your daughter posted it. She said, your first podcast will be bad. Your first
Yeah.
workout, it's going to be bad, man. But you just got to stick with it. And before you know it, you're going to look up and you're going to be better, you're gonna be better. That's like when I tell people at one of their first workouts, the first consultation, while we sit down, I say, "Man, this ain't gonna be no easy process. It won't be an easy process, and it ain't gonna change. Like, the workouts ain't gonna change. I can change them up and make it harder, but you're gonna be the person that's getting better and within all of this. So, yeah, I would say that, Bishop. Trust that process, man. Whatever that may be, trust it and believe in it.
Thank you really. Thank you so much for that, because I love what you said. Trust the process. You got to believe, and you got to see that if you stay with it, it's going to be
Yeah.
better. Thank you,
And you
man.
stay with it, you see the results. Like, the result,
Yeah,
that's what's gonna keep you coming. You see the
exactly
result,
right.
like, oh, I can do this. Or, from your issue, like, I got a podcast, and it's really smooth, so I can keep doing it. I can keep coming, or whatever, can keep doing it.
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing that. Your story is amazing. Appreciate you being on with us today, Rishunn. You're an inspiration, man. Keep doing great things, brother.
Thank you. My pleasure, Bishop. Thank you for having me, sir. Thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing me to share my story.
Thank you. Hey, if you like that, hit the like and subscribe button if you're watching by YouTube. Share this audio podcast with your friends. They'll be encouraged and inspired. Again, we'll see you next week.